Good afternoon, folks. My name is Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if probable cause exists for those charges. Probable cause simply means it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, and more likely than not that you're the person who committed that crime. Of course, as you stand before me today, I presume that you're innocent of these charges. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings, unless and until the State Attorney's Office is able to prove the charges against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release today, that is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit, or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you today. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you haven't had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. I now need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. You all solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth? Outstanding. When you hear your name called, come forward to the podium, please. Gregory Clark. Afternoon, Mr. Clark. What's your date of birth?
4/13/86.
Mr. Clark, we have 3 charges today: improper exhibition of a firearm, disorderly intoxication, and resisting without violence. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Private counsel.
All right. State what you tell me.
He was adjudicated in October of 2018 as DUI, and that's the only thing that's needed.
And Gregory, where have you been staying lately?
I rent a room.
Is it the address on Buckingham Way?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how long have you been there?
7 months.
Do you have a job these days?
I work for myself.
What do you do?
I sell art and antiques and things.
Okay. On the improper exhibition, I'll leave the bond at $1,000. On the other 2, $500 each. That's a total of $2,000. You'll be back in court on the 1st of May. All right?
Okay.
Thank you. Gary Cooper. Afternoon, Gary. Date of birth?
6/29/60.
Gary, this is a probable cause arrest for a violation of probation. There is probable cause for the VOP. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. Bond, of course, is no bond. I'll have you back in court on April 30th. PD will come see you before then. All right, Gary?
I just got released, and then I was just late to get to my probation.
Say that again?
I just got released, and I was late to get to my probation.
Okay.
And that they can just reinstate that.
Well, that'll be up to the circuit court judge when you get back there, Gary. So you'll be back in 3 weeks, and if they want to reinstate you, they can do that. Thank you. Travis Kremen.
Stop talking.
Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
4/11/91.
Travis, have 2 charges today: armed burglary of a dwelling or structure and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender? I'll appoint the PD and state what you got.
In 2016, he was adjudicated of a second battery. Looks like he got a 10-month sentence. In 2014, the adjudication for the first battery. 2011, there's a withhold for a petty theft. And that's it.
And Travis, what's your current address?
16091 Sandusky Street.
Okay, how long have you been there?
I've lived there 27 years, but I've been there for the last 5 months.
Uh-huh. You have a job these days?
Self-employed.
What do you do?
Mechanic.
Okay. I'll leave the bonds per the schedule, which is $25,000 on the armed burglary, $5,000 on the possession. That's a total of $30,000. These charges will be back April 30th. If you're able to get out, you should contact the PD right away. If you can't get out, they'll come see you at the jail.
All right.
Thank you. Shane Harvey. Afternoon, Shane. Date of birth?
10/12/84.
Shane has 2 charges today, burglary of a structure and grand theft. That's pursuant to a warrant that was signed by Judge Angelitis, so he found probable cause. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself, you're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State what can you tell me?
In 2017, he had an adjudication for a toilet. In 2017, he also had false ID to law enforcement. Sorry, 2017, I don't know if I said that. 2016, adjudication for a violation of a domestic violence injunction. 2015, an adjudication for petty theft. In 2010, there's an adjudication for trespass. In 2006, a withhold on possession of methamphetamine, as well as driving while license suspended. 2005, criminal mischief, as well as a battery, and a trespass in 2005.
Shane, I have an address for you on Peyton Place here in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
Off and on for 12 years.
You have a job these days?
Currently laid off.
Okay. I'll set your bond at $2,000 on each count, so that's a total of $4,000. We'll have you back in court on the 30th of April. If you get out, it's very important that you contact the public defender right away, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Dion Jackson. Afternoon, Mr. Jackson. What's your date of birth?
10/14/1996.
All right. Beyond the charge is possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point the PD. State.
Your Honor, in 2016, he was adjudicated of burglary of a conveyance, as well as grand theft.
And Dion, I have an address for you on Bridgewater Club Loop. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there? Dion, how long have you lived there?
Since my freshman year, so about 8 years.
You have a job these days?
No, sir.
Okay. Set your bond at $500. I'll have you back in court on the 1st of May. Make sure you go see the PD when you get out, okay?
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Donald Jones. Afternoon, Mr. Jones. What's your date of birth?
9272.
Mr. Jones, you're here on 2 warrants, both signed by Judge Rupi, both failing to appear on Wednesday in her courtroom. One is a trespass, the other is possession of paraphernalia. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point
Can
to
I
you.
please say something, sir?
Sure, go ahead.
I showed up yesterday morning with every intention of going to court. I could swear my paperwork said the 4th instead of the 3rd. And I got arrested at the courthouse because I showed up for court to because I thought my court date was on the 4th. I had every intention of making it there. And I don't know why. I just swear my paper said the 4th.
Okay. All right, hang on a second.
Would you like to resolve these today?
What's the
30
offer?
days.
What is it?
30 days to resolve those.
Okay. Donald, before we talk about setting you a bond, the state says if you want to resolve these cases today, 30 days in the county jail would take care of it. If you're not interested in 30 days in the county jail, then we'll talk about your bond.
I'm not interested in 30 days. I'm
Okay.
innocent.
All right. Hang on. What other history state?
Well, There's a lot here. Give me a second.
Just give me the last couple of years.
Okay. We've got 2007 adjudication for burglary, as well as a grand theft. These are going backwards. 2005, driving while license suspended. Looks like he's a habitual traffic offender for driving while license suspended. I guess that's most in the possession of Oxy in 2007, 2012 petty theft. Then there's some older possessions, thefts, cannabis.
This is the second FDA.
Yeah, he's had felony driving while license suspended in 2006.
Okay. All right. And Donald, where you been staying lately?
7171 Sunnyside.
Okay. And how long have you been there?
Been there for 5 months.
Okay.
But I've been in Brooksville for over 20 years.
All right. You have a job these days?
I'm working part-time.
Okay. We leave the bonds per the warrants, which is $4,000 each. That's a total of $8,000. You'll be back in court on the 1st of May. If you're able to get out, go see the PD. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Dylan McCullough. Afternoon, Dylan. What's your date of birth?
11/15/97.
Dylan, you're here on a violation, a probable cause arrest for violation of probation. There is probable cause for the VOP. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself, you want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point the PD bond, of course, is going to be no bond. I'm going to change the date in your case to the 26th of April. They told you the 30th. We'll have you back on the 26th, and the PD will come see you before then, okay?
All right.
Thank you. Sean McGinnis. Afternoon, Mr. McGinnis. What's your date of birth?
9/13/89.
Mr. McGinnis, I have a warrant for you out of Hillsborough County. The judge that signed that warrant found probable cause for a grand theft motor vehicle and set your bond at $2,000. I can't change that because it's an out-of-county warrant. If you can post that bond, you can go down to Tampa, find out when they want you in court. If you can't post that bond, I'll give Hillsborough County 5 days to come get you. If you are still here in 5 days, they'd bring you back to see me and I'd find out what the holdup is, okay? All right, thank you, sir. Joe Pereira.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello again, Joe. Date of birth?
6/25/84.
So apparently we resolved that case yesterday and then they PC arrested you on a VOP. Is that right?
Yes. Is there any way we can get this taken care of? Because I got the ID taken care of.
Okay, well, here's the answer. Actually, we're going to untake care of your case from yesterday.
I was going to ask you to do that.
Yeah, because the driving case, whenever we get around to it, you're not going to have to do anything additional. But right now, because they've arrested you for it's a felony VOP, having pled to that case yesterday, that puts you in a real tough spot. I'm absolutely going to withdraw that plea so that you haven't pled to that, so that the public defender has something they can do on the VOP, okay?
Okay.
All right, so somebody have a case number from yesterday?
I've got your dispo form.
Okay.
If I can
What
find
was
it.
the case?
19MM0493.
0493. Okay. So I'm going to sua sponte, withdraw the plea that Joe entered yesterday at 19MM493. Let's put him on my May 1st docket then, because that'll be the day after he goes to felony court. So Joe, I put that misdemeanor on my docket on the 1st of May. On this VOP, do you want the public defender?
Yes, Your
Okay.
Honor. Is there any way I could possibly get RR bond? I just started a job on Tuesday. I've been going to daycare.
Yeah, Joe, I would if I could, but I can't. It's a felony VOP. I got to hold you without bond until the 30th. Hopefully we can get your felony resolved on the 30th. You'll see me on the 1st and you'll be done. But that's the best I can do. I'm going to appoint the PD. Bond is no bond. This case is coming back April 30th. Your misdemeanor is coming back May 1st. And the PD is going to come see you before you go to court, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Anthony Wright. Hello, Mr. Wright. What's your date of birth?
9/28/1998.
Mr. Wright, you have 3 charges today: possession of controlled substance, possession of marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause for those charges. As for those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
I'll represent myself.
All right. State, what can you tell me?
Just this, Your Honor.
Okay. Anthony, I have an address for you on Penn State Road in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long have you lived there?
On and off for the past 5 years. It's my father's residence.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
Yes, a full-time job at a nursing home.
Okay. All right. On the controlled substance, I'll set the bond at $1,000. On the 2 misdemeanors at ROR, so your total is $1,000. You'll be back in court on the 30th of April. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.